What's going on, fellas? Drama 22. Just want to kind of give you guys a little look in at what's going on in the meeting room membership from my Patreon. It's been, about what, 2 months now. So we have a good number of videos in there. I think we have about 35 videos, something like that, going back to the beginning of the cycle. So just giving you a little preview. Just if you ever do want to join, this is what's in here for the base membership. All right, you see we started with cover 3 seam for the most part. Talked about every single formation, some issues, how to fix certain problems. Moved into cover 4 quarters. This is before the patch. So at that time, I was talking about how quarters is good versus certain things. And if you wanted to run it, look out for certain plays and certain formations. And then the patch came, later on. So that, cleaned it up a little bit. And then we went into run defense. That was kind of what we did in between there. Talked about different run defenses. Talked about it from an offensive point of view, defensive point of view. By that time, I was pretty, in the middle of my season, my first CFM season. So I'm showing clips from there. We got the Wade Phillips plan. As you know, if you join the membership, you get the Wade Phillips plan as part of your membership. That's already paid for. And then I went into, obviously, when the patch came out, we talked about the patch in detail. And then we talked about cover 4 palms. I just started working on that this past week. And we're kind of right now, I just put out a new video talking about 3x1 nub. So you get all that stuff in there. Now, if you want to jump into the coordinator room membership, you're going to get more inside information. So you get all that stuff. Plus you get previews of the different playbooks like Jim Swartz. Those guys already have a preview of how I'm going to fit the run with the Jim Swartz defense and the wide 9 front. And then everything else as we go through, they get little extra videos, some game plan stuff every single month about, hey, maybe these are the best coverages you should run. And then on top of that, they get some organizational things like team management, depth chart stuff, all those good things. So those guys also get my Discord information, so you guys can hit me up, direct message me, and I'll get back to you within the day or so, letting you know, like, whatever questions you might have, whatever projects you might want to do. For example, somebody wanted to, for their CFM, put together an offensive defensive plan. And, we can sit there and I'll put one together for you, and I'll make a video for you, and we'll talk about, what you want to do specifically. So that's the coordinator membership. That's the higher level membership. But just wanted to show that to you. So what I'm going to do here is also just give you guys, today when I worked on 3x1 nub versus palms coverage, match coverage, I saw there was some problems. There's a couple problem routes in there. So I want you guys to see that. I want to cut up the video for you and just kind of give you that piece of that video, just to give the community an idea of what to look out for when you're running palms. There's always a play or two every year that can kind of mess your palms up. So just be aware of it. And, I'm not trying to give out beaters, but I definitely want to give out answers to guys that want to run palms. Just look out for these couple plays and these couple things, all right? So I'll jump into that video next. And at the end, if you guys want to subscribe to the Patreon and get more information and talk to me directly, you know how. I'll put the link at the bottom. Otherwise, just keep it rocking and trust the process. Talk to you later. So that's a problem, all right? I just found a particular route that's a problem. Now, if this was just a normal, let's just see if 2 was to run a normal vertical here. Would the safety now still come over? Yeah, he's leaving him alone. Wow. Then don't know why he's doing that versus, see, the thing about palms or the thing about match coverage, there are certain routes for some reason that would just break the coverage. So, like, if I ran just a regular out right now, okay, and ran the same thing, let's see what the safety does. See, the safety should take that guy across the field. But for some reason, this type of flat out break, this little flat, wheel route screws up the coverage. So this will have to be a tip. I'm going to make this probably a general tip for everybody. I'll cut this into a video for the guys on YouTube as well, because I want people to know that this play right here is a problem. It's funny because this is actually one of the plays that I run on my offense right now. I had no idea that was a problem. Okay, so now everybody knows. We found one right off the top here, guys. So we keep it moving. Let's go find another play. This is the reason why, honestly, guys, why I like to do my videos sometimes and just take like a playbook, like the most popular playbook, and then just hit all the plays. Because sometimes I could assume that the coverage is going to be right, but honestly, there are times, and this is the reason why we do this every year, there's some things that are screwed up, okay? So this one here, the free safety should be able to play this guy, but he's going to have a tough down. But let's see his technique. I mean, he should be not be really too badly out leveraged here. Nope. Okay, so he's in good position on that, right? Again, this is an example that three's going vertical, two's coming under, so you don't have to really worry about not you, but the defense is pretty much taken care of. Now, the nickel, he should slide across and take number two. Good. Okay. Now, the reason why it goes back to some of the rules that we talked about with the nickel and what number three does. But in this defense, there's really no reason to slide out to who? To number one. Because in his, again, he understands and the game programs it this way. One is doing what? He's megged up on the outside receiver. So in his world, in the Nichols world, there's nobody else. So you might as well just slide inside of him. Now, there are some defenses in real life that would say, no, don't worry about that. Get into this little window right here, just so that if the corner route is thrown, it can be thrown high. And that's a realistic thing. Why? Because your three receiver hook player, he's also going to be inside of number two. He's a wall player. Okay, so let me just make sure that I'm not lying to you. And you should see the three receiver hook player. Okay, he came over late. Let's do that again. Looks like the game is dropping him back into like the again, that's where I don't like his leverage. You can leverage him up here for bubbles. I get it, but I'd rather him be a little bit tighter. That's why I like to use him. And then just if it's a bubble, we're going to have to chase that down. And I'll talk about the run front later, guys. That's the reason why the run front's so important because he is technically a B gap player. Actually, you have him an A gap, but coming this way, it's a B gap player, this player. So I understand, but him the line so wide, I don't like that. But let's just take a look at it. Again, we have two coming in. I don't know. They're okay. They screwed up the three receiver hook player here too. So this coverage is not 100% fixed, or it's not 100% clean, and we're gonna have to talk about this in more detail. But watch this again. I'll replay on this one here. Like there's no. I understand that the nickel is doing kind of a good job in taking care of number two, so you don't need two players to cover an in route. But he's still a three receiver hook player. You should still be paying attention to this side of the field. There's nothing really to pay attention to over here. This is taken care of by he's taken care of by the corner and the safety, and obviously number two right here is working out to the flat to the right side. There's no reason for him to sit there and run out like he's some sort of Tampa 2 player. That makes no sense. He should just sit right here, middle of the field, and then just look to help out at any type of interior breaking route, even if it's an interior breaking route of three. There's no reason to turn your back and run like this. And that's a good player in the game. That's Matt Milano. It doesn't make any sense. That's the reason why I would use that guy. Okay, if this is a down where in this type of situation, first second down, I would be using him anyway. But yeah, sometimes the programming is not where it needs to be. Again, this is something that I definitely will put out to the YouTube guys so they can see this part. I want them just to understand how the reason why we have to break down these coverages, even though we're still what are we 2-3 months into the game, is that some of these little things are not good. And I don't ever want you guys to be running the coverage and be in a situation where you think you have something locked up and you don't. All right.